Hello. Good morning. How are you? We met up with our guide that we arranged with our airport pickup. If you're unsure on how to get a guide, you can arrange that through your airport pickups, accommodation host, or even a Grab or Gojek driver will be happy to assist. Prices are usually pretty reasonable, which ranges from 500 to 800 rupiah, which is about 40 to 70 Canadian dollars. You can also ask various drivers and kind of get a feel for what the going rates are as well. Our first stop was at the Taman Ayun Temple, which is about a 30-minute drive by car from the Canggu and Seminyak area. There's also a 30,000 rupiah entry fee, which is about 3 Canadian dollars. When you pass through the iconic Balinese gates, you're immediately met with a lush courtyard that leads you into where the main temple area is. Our first impressions was of how well kept and serene it was. The Taman Ayun Temple was a UNESCO recognized site that was completely underrated and a definite must-see if you're in Bali. The temple was made in the 17th century and was a family temple for the Mengwi Empire, which was originally only accessible by royals. It's surrounded by a moat consisting of 4 courtyards, each a level higher than the other. It's a very photogenic place rich with Balinese culture. There's views of carved shrines, ornamentals, deities, gods and demons, gardens, koi fish ponds, and several rows and tiers of royal and sister mirror shrines that you'll see scattered throughout the temple. After we finished up at the Taman Ayun Temple, it was time to try out the famous Lewak Coffee at the Hidden Garden Coffee Plantation. Lewak Coffee was definitely something on my bucket list to try, but it wasn't as bad as they call it, which was cat poop coffee. So we just got to the Lewak Coffee Plantation.
We have Lewak Coffee.
And yeah, we're gonna check this out. There's a big giant swing here. We've got a nice guides here to show us around. The whole place was nestled in a beautiful lush jungle area, including a huge swing. You'll get a guide that's very informative. They'll explain and show the different types of beans grown, the tea herbs, the grinding and roasting process, followed up with a free of charge tasting at the end. So we're here checking out the famous Bali swing. Vanessa here is going to be our first person to try this out. After fueling up with coffee at the plantation, we headed north to get some lunch, then check out the iconic floating temple near the Twin Lakes in central Bali. When you Google a picture of Bali, generally the first result that comes up is the iconic Ulun Danu temple, which is also known as the floating temple. It's about an hour-and-a-half drive from Canggu depending on the traffic, and there's a 50,000 rupiah fee to get in, which works out to be about $4. We spent an hour taking in all the sights. The surrounding mountains and lakes gives it a very stunning characteristic charm that makes this place a very popular spot to visit and take photos. If you've never visited Bali before, I highly recommend going at least once, but make sure you arrive early in the morning as it can get quite busy later in the day. After the busy water temple, we were so ready to escape the crowds and cool off from the Bali heat in a beautiful waterfall. Our driver took us to Banyumala Twin Waterfalls, which is one of the lesser known waterfalls in the mountainous jungle regions in the north. When you arrive, you'll need to pay a 30,000 rupiah fee for entry, and it's a 20-minute hike down. Though it's a relatively short hike, there's some high stairs and some sketchy areas of the hike, so be sure to take it slow going down. Don't worry though, once you get to the bottom, you'll see it's all worthwhile. So yeah, if you're gonna do this, I definitely recommend getting water shoes if you can. Preferably some ones with some harder soles because you're walking over a bunch of jagged rocks, but it's also really wet. And They also have some grip, so definitely don't wear anything like flip-flop. And guys, look at this. Wow. So we just made down here the waterfall. Look at that. Unfortunately, the weather had started to turn, which is to be expected this time of the day in northern Bali. The farther north you get, the more rain you'll typically see here. However, hiking back up the trail may present a potential challenge, so we had to act fast before it starts to rain really hard. So this rain isn't exactly working in our favor. It's like walking down a sheet of ice. My wife just about fell into me. It would have been like a big domino effect. Thankfully, my footing was good. Good Lord, we actually made it. Can you believe it? I can't believe it. It wasn't as bad as it looked. Dude, it's pouring. I think we got through the hardest part of it here. I think we went so high, we actually went to the top of a mountain. Now it's gotten cold now. And we made it. It's actually quicker going up than it was down. Maybe the rain kind of made us go faster. Our final stop of the day was at the Tanah Lot Temple to hopefully catch the sunset. We made a quick stop along the way to check out the viewpoint of the Twin Lakes. It was too cloudy to get a full view of the lakes, but thankfully the lakes weren't the only thing there was to see there. There are some animals such as fruit bats, also known as flying foxes, which are the largest bats in the world. There is also a python as well as an iguana, which is probably the largest one I've ever seen. We didn't stick around too long as it was quite cold and we didn't anticipate any rain gear. But thankfully the rain looked like it was starting to clear the more closer we got towards Tanah Lot Temple, which was also closer to our villa in Canggu. The temple is renowned for its beautiful sunset views and is uniquely situated on a rock offshore. It's one of 7 temples that forms a chain along the southern coastline. At the base of the temple, it's believed that there is venomous sea snakes, which protects the temple from evil spirits and intruders. At the entrance, you'll find many art shops offering locally made crafts and souvenirs, as well as various local snacks. And like most other temples, there is an entrance fee of 60,000 rupiah. So this is the main Tanah Lot right here. You can see everybody coming down there. Apparently you can go down there, you get blessed with the holy water, and there's a holy snake that you touch afterwards and get blessed. So we're just approaching the place where you can walk across to this temple. Be sure to try to time it for low tide so you can walk around the bottom part on the beach where the cave with the holy snake and the main temple is accessed from. Otherwise, at high tide, both those areas are completely inaccessible. We're gonna go in and check out the holy snake in here. This place right here. It's a little bit dark. You may not be able to see it. Venomous holy snakes you can see and even touch for a small donation inside that cave. Although these snakes are one of the most poisonous in the world, they're actually quite calm and won't bite at all. The main temple across from the snake cave is however not permitted for entry except for the locals that go there to pray. Unfortunately, this amazing day had come to an end. We were both so grateful to be able to see some of the most beautiful parts of Bali. This has been an incredible journey so far, and as this day comes to an end, it marks the end of our first leg of our trip. Tomorrow we're headed to Nusa Penida for 3 nights, so stay tuned for some more adventures in the next one. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please take a moment to hit the like and subscribe button.